Hey YouTube, Critch here, back again with another episode of Let's Play Monster Hunter Freemunite. This episode we're just going to be hitting it off with one of the so-called, I'd assume they're filler quests, but in fact it's just repeating stuff we've already killed. This one shouldn't take too long, hopefully. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to be talking a bit, chances are, because it's two Hermitors, it'll take roughly the length of the video anyway. Bear in mind that the last time we fought Hermitor, the Daimyo Hermitor was at 3-star, I believe. Yeah. So 2-star difference. Not a huge amount. A lot of the changes between 3 and 5-star are just that they're new monsters. And a bit of color variation. So not a huge difference in actual stats and stuff, but this guy had a lot of health to begin with. And bear in mind this was the weapon I fought him with originally. So the fact that I'm still using the same weapon, I am very lucky that he went over me there. That's an attack I've never picked up on. I've never known how to tell its tail, even though it looks like a really obvious tail. Yeah, he might just be spitting stuff forward, but instead he jumps back, and it's like the tail on that's really hard to tell the difference between his attacks. It's easy to see him doing an attack, but telling which attack it is, that's the hard part in that regard. As for actually breaking his, oh wow. That's like a large hitbox actually. It's actually a much larger hitbox than I was expecting from this guy. If you're wondering why they give you sonic bombs and why I didn't bother bringing any, sometimes he just like curls up in a ball and you need to sonic bomb him to get him out. I just don't bother. I just either like just keep bouncing off him or just wait for him to get out of it. Because if you sonic bomb out of it, it stuns him a bit, but it instantly puts him in rage mode. Wow. On the note of huge hitboxes, this guy's running against a Plesioth for the weirdest ones. Oh, you're shitting me. This is not the kind of guy you want to fight two of in the same area. Okay, the back one is the new one. This one, the one... I'm trying to keep an eye on which one's the one we were fighting originally, because I want to keep fighting that guy. It's the one that just jumped up. I want to try and keep fighting that one. But if my cat keeps dying very quickly, then we're not going to be able to fight two in one area. Like, honestly, dung bombs would have been a great idea here. And you're actually going to see me make a few by the time before we do the other two monster quests. Wait, really? That was kind of a wasted down, but okay. This is really strange, honestly. Like seeing monsters stay in an area for this long. Oh, hi, Dead Zone. I'll probably end up getting myself a. Well, I want to get myself a new controller, but it's a case of like wired 360 controllers just in general seem to be bad. Like the wireless ones that I started off with, they felt much better. Like their triggers felt not as stiff. The analog sticks felt more loose as well. Like not loose, but kind of like more fluid. And like this controller, despite like costing like I think it was 20 like 5 or 30 quid. It feels and looks really cheap. And I'm just starting to think it was like the kind of like the crappy Windows Wear or whatever you'd call it from Microsoft. That they're really cheap stuff, but still costs a stupid amount of money because it's, you know, they have a monopoly on these things. Because you can't really just go anywhere and get a 360 controller. And like you can't go anywhere and like get a 360 controller you know will work. Because there's so many places that like make their own really like, just cheap riff-offs that are like cheap to the point of just being absolutely terrible. And this is not going to take anywhere near as long as I expected. And yeah, like, if I end up getting a job, I could always just say like just buy like a really expensive like one. Like, it's probably a bad example, seeing as the amount of bad reviews it got, like the Razer Sabertooth. Just pick up a like quote unquote high quality one. But that's like it's still the case of like you hear about the Sabertooth breaking all the time, and that's like meant to be one of the higher cost ones. And then most of the ones you find are just a normal 360 controller, just modded. And a lot of those modded ones are then in turn just wireless ones. And wireless was okay when I had a 360, which had like the inbuilt wireless adapter into the actual machine. But when you have to like have a wireless adapter sticking out of your computer and it doesn't always work properly, then that can really get in the way of a good gaming session. So I just and then there's the case of batteries. Like I use my controller for a lot now. I use it for Naruto. I picked up the Mortal Kombat Complete Edition. I use it for Monster Hunter. I just use it for so much that I can't have it having batteries. I need to get 2 wireless controllers and set up like a wireless charging station or whatever. There we go. That one actually died in about 2 minutes. So yeah. But yeah, so I'd need to like set up a charging station, and it's just I want to just find a good wireless like 360 pad, not good wireless, good wired 360 pad that's not so much like fancy, has a lot of features, or is really responsive, has really high responsive times. Just something that's not gonna do this. Like, yeah, you can see it's pretty much the same point every time, where my guy will just stop and then keep running. And considering the animations in this game, that would be pretty impossible to pull off without it doing it every time by like, hardware fault. So yeah, my controller is pretty much screwed. Well, not screwed. It still works. Some of the buttons feel a little unresponsive, but maybe it's just me not pressing them down far enough because I'm used to a mechanical keyboard where you really don't need to press the buttons down that much. But all the time I had my wireless controllers, they never once had the issue that this joystick's having, which leads me to think it might be just a defective unit, or it's either because it's a defective unit or it's just a really cheap controller that they've overcharged for, which wouldn't put it past them. The fact they were wanting like 40 quid for a single wireless controller. Like, not even the adapter to go with Windows. Like, they were advertising a Windows controller on it because the Xbox 360 is like old generation now. So they were advertising like Windows controller and all this stuff. And then it was like saying, yeah, combine this with this adapter to, you know, connect to a controller to your PC. And they were charging like 40 quid for the controller. And I just took one look at it. It's like, that is not as good quality as the one I got packaged in. Like, literally I got it packaged in with my Xbox, and that lasted me like what, 5 years. I had my Xbox longer than I had my PC. It must be coming on to like, oh my god, that was like 7 years ago. It was like 7 years ago I got my 360, I think. Yeah, it must have been 7 years ago. I'm pretty sure I got it in year 8. So that must have been 7 years ago. Not 7. Would that be 6 or 7? If I got it if I got it around Christmas time in year 8, then let's see this. So about 6.5 years ago, I got the Xbox. Of course, obviously, like a year ago is when I traded it in. I kept one of the controllers though. Like the whole reason I stopped using the wireless controller, it wasn't because of like the whole battery thing. I could deal with that when I had 2 controllers and I was able to connect them fine and charge the other one was connected. That was fine. But then, like something that had been happening over time, and I've been noticing it for a while, was actually that the I'm gonna do the Gypsy quest, by the way, because that Hermitor quest did not take any time at all. Because I never really, what's the word? But like I never really paid too much mind to it. It was just a case of take the battery pack out and put it back in, and then it should work again, which it did for the most part until like a certain point. But it got to the point where like just even slight movements or like hitting a button too hard would make the battery pack disconnect the controller. And the game that made it just like, yeah, this is unusable now was when I was playing Black Flag. And I would just be trying to run around rooftops and stuff, and then my controller would just disconnect over that, and it was like, pretty sure I need a new controller. So then, when I stayed with my girlfriend, we both picked up a wired 360 controller from the game store near her place, and we plugged them into our laptop. They worked perfectly fine. We played some Spelunky together, and we were like, yeah, these are pretty good controllers. I'm guessing I just like didn't play the right game to see that mine had a fucked up analog stick. Like, she hasn't mentioned it at all to me, and I haven't outright mentioned it to her, I don't think. So by that logic, it's just mine's a defective unit. I've thought about like maybe decreasing, like just completely removing the dead zone on my controller. But I look at all the guides on the internet, and I'm starting to feel like I have a completely different controller to everyone else, based on how mine is. And it's like, this really isn't helping my whole confidence about this thing. And there's 2 Gypceras I'm supposed to be fighting, right? Yeah, 2. Piss off, spider. Can't be honest with you right now. I'm guessing 9 and 1 are the areas they went to then. Well, I've been running around so long, the 1 and 9 probably moved to 3. Well, one of them, here he is. It's the regular old Gypceras. With a really fucking strong hind leg. If you're wondering why I'm not bothering going for the light crystals, if I'm gonna go for the light crystals, it'll be when I actively need them, and I'll make a hammer to do it. I'll make a hammer, and I'll make shock traps. What? How? How does that stun me? Oh shit! I figured out what this attack is. I genuinely forgot that that was his like stunning attack. I don't know if I was just out of range or if I genuinely rolled through that. I'm thinking I was just out of range. Oh. Well. This is what happens when you fight two of the same type of species of a monster. Their flight patterns and their area changes are so similar, you end up fighting two of them so quickly. Well, he's in rage mode. That's no good. I wonder if they can flash each other. Doesn't look like it. I did not roll through that, okay. I'm questioning if you can actually roll through it. Oh god, no. Excuse me. This is just mental chaos right now. Did he just go underwater? I didn't think Gypceras could swim. Like, just running around, you can see the dead zone issue I have with the controller. I just need one of them to switch area. He looks like he's trying to, like, fly out the area, but he can't fly or something. He's limping? No way. No way. The purple Gypceras followed immediately. I don't get why I'm bouncing so much off this guy. Really? Why would you follow immediately? By the way, I'm pretty sure the normal Gypceras has just faked his death. No, he hasn't faked his death. He's actually dead. It just didn't say one monster remaining. For whatever reason. Power extracts are very useful for bow users. Oh yes, I like crystal. It's like, as much as I say, like, there's no point going for light crystals if you're not interested in them, it's because they're a real hassle to get if you don't, like, specifically go for them. Really? Did that Velocipede really just hit me that far off? Oh god. There's no. I'm pretty much assumed at this point there's no way out of this one. I have no idea why I'm killing these so quickly. Just throwing that out there. Like, I'm at the point of assuming that because they made these 2 monster quests, despite them being 5-star, they've actually made each monster weaker. At least that's my theory. So, yeah. Because this is the same weapon I fought these guys with originally, and, like, actually, that was 2 hunts in one video. But that was 2 hunts in one video. This was 2 hunts in one video, but there was 4 monsters total. And it only took 20 minutes. Whereas fighting both of these guys originally took quite a while. But yeah, so that's a few of the like not really nostalgia, like just filler. They seem to they honestly just seem to be filler quests, which is slightly saddening, but at the same time, I guess it just helps keep the pacing. It gives a few more options, which is always nice. If you needed both purple Gypceras and normal Gypceras stuff, then you could just do this quest and get both in one quest rather than needing to do 2 quests. But yeah, so that'll be it for this episode. Sorry about it just being like the new like filler stuff. Well, not the new filler stuff, like just stuff we've already fought before. I'm starting to think that I need to advance. I need to do the Gravius. I'm pretty sure it's the only like it's either going to be the Gravius or the Black Gravius I need to kill to advance. So yeah, there's not going to be any new weapons after that. But yeah, that's it for this episode, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. So, I'm gonna try and stream for a bit today. Same day these videos go up. Stream some grinding in the game. It's not gonna be like as structured as this video is. It's just gonna be kind of casual. I'm gonna be sitting and talking to the chat. And if anyone does have online, I might do the online gathering hall stuff on stream, like the stuff I've already done offline, like the same monsters. I might do I might just do that like on stream instead of on YouTube, and then like, the main point stuff on the guild hall, like Leoshan and Shingaran, even though those do pop up in the village eventually. I may just show those in the gathering hall with a few other people. Depends if people actually want to play this, like, if they want to join in on the stream and just generally play. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode, where hopefully, depending on how much work, well, how much I actually end up getting done today, we end up fighting Black Gravius. Well, just Gravius. Black Gravius comes after, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode.